the key moderator. Unfortunately, the former Minister of State has had an emergency to deal with in the family that I had to step in his big shoes. So you're going to have to bear with me for the time being with that. With us today here, please give them a big applause to our biggest and very professional speakers. Allow me to introduce I will go through the first speaker, Mr. Adam Zuberi, Commissioner for Gas and Petroleum from the Ministry of Energy. Mr. Zuberi has more than 25 years' experience in the energy sector, particularly operation industry, related matters including policy, legal, regulatory, and institution framework, as well as the upstream and downstream activities. He's actively involved and participated in various development of energy policy in 2015, Petroleum Act in 2015, and establishment of Petroleum Regulatory Authority of Tanzania, PURA. He is actively involved in several energy-related projects, including overseeing and monitoring of implementation of PSA, Production Sharing Agreement, Petroleum Sector Rehabilitation Project, Oil for Development Project, Tanzania Extended Continental Shelf Project, and final but not least, Rural Electrification Project. And one more, which exciting one, is the EACOP project. Mr. Zuberi has MSc in Petroleum Geology from Azerbaijan. And he also has a postgraduate diploma from Norway, from which he attended petroleum exploration and production. My next speaker is, of course, Dr. James Matarajio. He's Dr. James Matarajio is the current Managing Director of Tanzania Petroleum Development Corporation, has a wealth of more than 25 years of experience in oil and gas and mining industry, has 15 years in North America, South America, and Eastern Asia experience. He holds masters from Japan in geology and chemistry, PhD in geology and geophysics, and has a master's in business development from the USA. The third speaker with us here today is Mr. Charles Sangweni. He's Acting Director General of Petroleum Regulatory Authority. He works there as an Acting Director General. He holds master degree in gas engineering and management from University of Salford, UK, and also holds bachelor degree in chemical and processing engineering from University of Dar es Salaam. Before joining PURA, he worked at TPDC and held several oil companies position in and outside the country. These include Caltex in Kenya, Caltex in Tanzania, and Gapco in Uganda. Thereafter, he joined TPDC in 2018 as a senior research officer, where he acquired skills and knowledge in natural gas chain. He is one among the project implementation unit for Tanzania Natural Gas Infrastructure Project, which commenced successfully in 2015. Besides that, Sangweni is involved in various projects on natural gas development utilization. My fourth speaker is Frederick you'll have to bear with me on that one. Grutendorst is a managing director and country chair of Shell Tanzania. Frederick was appointed as MD and country chair of Shell Tanzania in 1st of September 2019, where he's here in Tanzania. Frederick leads all aspects of the Shell's presence in Tanzania, including the deep water to shore Greenfield Tanzania LNG opportunity. He holds master degree in aerospace engineering from Delft, which is the University of Technology in Netherlands. Frederick is also well experienced and has a broad career spans from technical, project, commercial, and operation domains with deep experience in LNG and integrated gas development, as well as a global LNG market and operating joint ventures. He worked in Shell, or he works in Shell in Europe, Asia, Middle East, and North America. Most recently, Frederick was deeply involved in successful development of positive investment decision on LNG Canada, which became Canada's largest private capital investment in its history. This is very heavy, wow. Okay, my next speaker is Dr. Sivert West, Project Director and Asset Manager from Equinor, Tanzania. Sivert has 20 years of experience from LNG project execution, commissioning, startup, and operations. He's based in Oslo, Norway, where it's very cold up there. He also has had several management positions within the company. For the last 6 years, Sivert has been within Tanzania LNG team as for the LNG project in the position of engineering manager, project manager for the onshore, and since 1st of January 2019, he has held various positions as a project director and asset manager for the Block 2 LNG project. Before joining Equinor, Sivert was a research scientist for SINTEF within field of flow temperature process technology. Sivert holds a PhD and master's degree in mechanical technology, process engineering from University of Technology, as I said, from Norway. And my last but not least is our very good friend, John Patrick Boyce. As you can see, he's taller than myself, and we are all balded, so that makes us two. John is the drilling manager for dorsal hydrocarbon and exploration and production. He's based now in Dar es Salaam, but prior to that, he was in Dubai. He has a BA engineering in mining and has 35 years of experience in the drilling. Without your respect, allow me to invite our first speaker in order to present. Mr. Commissioner, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My presentation is principally going to focus on an overview of the oil and gas industry in Tanzania, starting with the key instrument governing the sector, legal framework, and we'll touch some point on the incoming major project. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think I've talked about that. The key governing instrument of the petroleum sector include the energy policy of 2015, which cut across the whole value petroleum value chain. Also, we have the Petroleum Act. It also cut across the whole value petroleum chain. We have a set of regulations, and we have MPCA 2013, and then we have NGOM of 2017, which is the Natural Gas Utilization Master Plan. Other laws include the Constitution of Tanzania of 1977, ULA Act, OSHA Act, Income Tax Act, Environmental Management Act, Oil and Gas Revenue Management Act, Tanzania Extractive Industry, the Natural Waste and Resources Law of 2017, that is sovereignty, permanent sovereignty, and Contract Review Act. With regard to the institution framework, the Ministry of Energy plays the central role in overseeing and managing the subsector, and in so doing is collaborating with the other competent agencies, which include Vice President Office on the issue of environmental, Prime Minister's Office on the issue of HSE and local content, and also Minister of Transport. But we also collaborate very closely with the Minister of Finance and Planning with regard to the issue of revenue management. Under the petroleum upstream, we have PURA, which is the regulatory authority, and is working very closely with the other regulatory authorities, including NEMC, OSHA, NIKI, and TASAC. And on the mid and downstream, we have EURA, who is regulating the bulk procurement agents, which is responsible for coordinating the bulk procurement of petroleum products in the country. Under PURA, we have the National Oil Company, which is TPDC. Principally, this is the license holder of all the PSA contracted in this country. And under TPDC, we have the international oil companies, which are mainly contractors of TPDC. The petroleum exploration activities are conducted in several basins in Tanzania, and this includes the basin located in onshore areas, offshore areas, but also in the Rift Valley Basin. As we speak, we have currently 11 PSA which are active, and more than 6,000 2D seismic acquired, more than 76,000 3D seismic acquired, and 96 deep wells drilled, of which 44 are discoveries. We have a total of 57.4 TCF gas in place of natural gas, which has been discovered, of which 10,000 TCF are on onshore areas, and 47.13 from offshore areas. As you all know, we have two fields which are producing, Mnazi Bay and Songo, and discussion on the monetization of the offshore discoveries is ongoing. We, at the ministry, we have this instrument called Ngompo, and Ngompo is a natural gas utilization master plan. It's an integral part of the strategy for the implementation of the national energy policy. Ngompo is a strategic document for promoting intersectoral coordination in the design and implementation of natural gas development activities. It guides the utilization of the resources, improvement of infrastructures, and human capital development in Tanzania. The gas produced, large part of the gas produced is used for power generation, and the next is industrial use, and the other consumptions are less than 0.01 BCF. The projections of gas utilization for the next 30 years indicate that large part of the gas will be used for power generation, followed by, for the most use is power generation, followed by petrochemical industries, and then pipeline for export to the regional countries, and then household and institution. And the total projection for domestic use in the next 30 years is 19.2 trillion cubic feet. And the project for export will constitute 14.9 TCF. The geographical location for Tanzania provide gateway for the landlocked countries, provide conducive environment for cross-border project, easy access to the global market, and provide a competitive hub for the trans trade. As we speak today, 50% of the petroleum product imported in the country are basically for trans trade. And the same applies even for the LPG. 50%, almost 50% of the LPG imported in the countries is basically going for the trans trade to the neighboring countries. We have also, let me also talk a little bit on the update on the upcoming project. We have the mega one, LNG project. As you already mentioned before, the government is still committed on the project. And as of now, the government has started engagement with the IOC on the key terms of the HGA. Consultation with the key stakeholders are ongoing, and the government has already allocated funds for compensation of the project affected persons. We have also the regional project, that is ECOP. After the signing of the IGA in 2017, it has triggered negotiation for the HGA and shareholders agreement, which are ongoing. FIDI and ESEA have been completed. Lab for supporting infrastructures has also been completed. And several studies, including geophysical and geology, geotectonical material ocean, along the pipeline route and export and storage terminal have been completed. We also on discussion with the government of Zambia on the construction of the new Tehama Petroleum pipeline project. This project has been initiated following the increased demand in demand of the petroleum product in Zambia, but also in the southern region of Tanzania. Preliminary discussion between the two governments have started. Intergovernment technical team formulated. Concept paper have been developed, and terms of reference for the feasibility study has also been developed. We are also on preliminary discussions with the government of Kenya on the construction of the pipeline to deliver the gas to Kenya. I would like also to touch base on an overview of the current oil and gas price market in the world. According to microtrend on the study made for the last 8 years, it shows that the oil and gas price has been in volatile mood. We noted that in the year 2014 and to year 2016, we noted a sharp decrease of the petroleum, of the oil and gas prices. And this generally has affected even investment in the frontier areas. After the 2016, we see an improvement of the prices. And this somehow has bring hope that we can go back to the era of active exploration activities, particularly in the frontier areas. Also, if you look again on the micro trend for the Henry Hub natural gas spot prices, it reflects the same as the previous one. But the message we are getting here is that the decline of natural gas has affected generally the pace of development of the LNG project globally. But also to give us the challenge to developers and government to consider other options to monetize the discovered gas. We have technology. No. On a strategic partnership to enhance operational experience and boost technology innovations, we are of the opinion that we can have that partnership as it is now through Petroleum project, including exploration in the open acreages through the production sharing agreement, construction of oil and natural gas transmission and distribution network in the domestic and in the region, but also explore various options for developing LNG projects. Another area is the fertilizers and petrochemical industries, CNG project for vehicles, and transit trade for the landlocked countries. In concluding, I would like to say that Tanzania has a competent and attractive legal and institutional framework to cater for the oil and gas business. Tanzania invites potential and restrained investors to come and invest in the petroleum subsector. And last but not least, following the growing and demand projections of natural gas for the next 30 years in the domestic and the regional market, and the volatility of the gas prices, it is my humble opinion that this should be the high times for the IOC to explore various options for developing the offshore discoveries. Asanteni sana, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Adam. As we all heard from Commissioner, it's pretty clear that from the government perspective, that Tanzania has a competent and attractive legal institution framework in the oil and gas sector, as you have seen. You have seen also the stakeholders that the Ministry of Energy is involved, from TPDC, PORA, EWORA, and so forth, and how the government involves stakeholders to be aligned with the IOCs. We look at the, in terms of the gas capacity, 57.54 TCF of gas. That is huge, both for domestic and international. Commissioner also talked about the natural gas utilization master plan, which is currently ongoing and being implemented. He talked about how Tanzania is strategic position to become a gas hub in Eastern Africa. Commissioner also highlighted mega projects that are currently going on in the country, varies from Tehama pipeline, CNG, which is compressed natural gas, fertilizer project, petrochemical, and all these giant projects which we are all waiting for, which is the Kenya pipeline for the gas, as well as the Uganda one. He's also talked about the gas price, which I'm very pleased to say that we were among the stakeholders that participated the day before, and yesterday. I know there's ongoing discussion for the stakeholders which are involved to work together to ensure that our gas price is very competitive. And lastly but not least, Commissioner, welcome investors. In all these priority areas, we have enormous opportunities in Tanzania. Based on the GDP that he's mentioned, the natural resources that are available, I think we are in very good hands. Thank you so much, Commissioner. My next speaker is Dr. James Matarajio. I know the English speaking to Matarajio, but it's actually Matarajio. He's the Managing Director of TPDC. Without due respect, allow me to welcome you on stage. Karibu sana.
Abdusamadi, asante. Good afternoon, everybody. When you speak after your boss, it's actually a little bit difficult because actually not one, two. We have the PS and the commissioner, and I'll be talking. So, but I'm going to share my, this afternoon I'm going to share what we do at TPDC. In a nutshell, I'm going to try to summarize who we are, TPDC, what we do, and what we plan to do in future. So basically, TPDC is a national oil company. TPDC was incorporated in 1969. In May this year, we actually celebrated 50 years of our existence. We became a national oil company in 2015, and after we became a national oil company, we were fully engaged in business aspects of the industry. Right now, we have two subsidiaries. We have Gasco, and we have Gasco, and we have Tan Oil. And we have continued to develop our industry, our oil and gas industry, in 3 phases, basically. To date, we have, as Commissioner and the PS said, we have a total reserve of 57.54, and we also have continued to support our partners. We have a good working relationship with the IOCs, and the intention is to develop together both onshore and offshore resources. So I'm going to quickly share with you what we have done and what we are going to do and what we are planning to do. So in the initial phase, TPDC, we have been focusing in the development of onshore gas. Onshore gas fields. Also, we have been focusing in the development of infrastructure for domestic markets. And in this area, basically, we have achieved several things. First, we have achieved a total processing capacity of 470 million standard cubic feet per day. We have also achieved a transportation capacity of over 1,000 million standard cubic feet per day. We have also, over the years, build capacity. In TPDC, we believe that human resource capital is the most important and sustainable asset. So during this period, we have continued to develop local expertise in the areas of construction, operation, maintenance, and basically it's on our natural gas infrastructure. We've also developed and expanded our domestic markets. As of today, just like our Commissioner and the PS said, over 55% of the electricity produced is from natural gas. Also, we have industries, institutions, and households that are being connected to the infrastructure, and we are continuing to expand the network. So our second phase, So in our second phase, we are focusing to drill more wells in onshore fields and also develop shallow water offshore gas field to increase production. We expect to achieve this in the next 5 years, and this will enable Tanzania to supply gas to our neighboring countries. You remember last month we had SADC here, we had a SADC conference here, and several countries, they approached TPDC asking for the possibility of being supplied gas. So we hope that with this phase, once we have drilled some wells, we'll have the capacity to supply gas to our neighbors. And in this phase also, we also facilitate development of petrochemical industries and bring green evolution in Tanzania and the region. We have about 3 industries. We have 3 industries that are waiting to be supplied by gas so they can start establishing their petrochemical industries. So with this phase and the initiative, we hope that we'll have gas to supply the petrochemical industry. So our third phase is to develop deep offshore fields and the LNG facilities, which will target the export market. We expect the FID of this project to be achieved in the next 5 years. Right now, we have the land. The land has been acquired. We are in the process of compensation. Also, the negotiations on how the project will be structured are in a good stage and will be concluded soon. And this will pave way for pre-FEED and the FEED studies for the FID. So having made all this progress, we see TPDC as a strong national oil company supplying secure, clean energy in Eastern Africa, as well as feedstock material for petrochemical industries and the green revolution. We see TPDC as an important contributor to the national economy in Tanzania. I'm going to skip some of this. Here is just to give you an idea. Right now we have 11 active PSCA. We have 3 development licenses. And the discovery we have, I've said already, 57.54. The next slide. I think it doesn't work. I'm going to quickly talk about the projects we have within TPDC. We have the Mnazi Bay project. This is in the southern Tanzania. We have done 3D seismic on this project. Next year, we are planning to drill 2 wells over this block. We also have the Songo, West Songo. We have acquired 3D, and we are planning also to drill 1 well. We have Lake Tanganyika North. We have acquired high-resolution full tensor gravity hydrometry on that block. We are also active exploring for oil. We have Air Swembere as I speak. We have a team working in Air Swembere. And the target is oil. And we have also 2 blocks offshore, Block 4B and the 41C. We are also active engaging on those blocks. In the midstream, I think this was already covered. We have achieved, as I said, a total of 470 million standard cubic feet per day processing capacity, and the transportation. We are doing well. I would like to talk a little bit about local content on this, this midstream and downstream. After the commissioning of our plants and the pipeline back in 2015, we have built the capacity, and I'm glad to say that all our operation, maintenance, are owned by Tanzanians 100%. So this is a very good example of local content, and I'm proud of that. For the LNG, I think everybody has talked about this. So there will be 4 mega projects to be delivered in parallel. Project just as now we are negotiating the HGA. And I would like to say a little bit that we have been going on, the HGA negotiation has been going on, and recently we temporarily stopped the negotiation. And the reason is we are trying to harmonize the PSA review and the HGA negotiation, the key terms for the HGA negotiation. We think it makes sense that because you have a lot of issues in the HGA negotiation that in the PSA. So it makes sense to hold on a little bit. And right now we are wrapping up the PSA review. So once we start, we'll take them together and they move to the completing the PSA and the HGA, and then we go to the pre-field. I'm out of time, and my conclusion, we invite investors. We have huge potential. Tanzania offers a huge potential in the areas of exploration, and we invite everybody to come to Tanzania and invest through TPDC. Thank you.
Am I the only one who has these shocks, or is it just you, Sabrina, as well? Yeah. Thank you, Dr. James Matarayo. Can I just... We seem to have so much energy. That's why even the microphones are buzzing. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Matarayo. I'm just going to be very brief, as I don't need to go through again and again, but we've all seen the potential of our natural resources in Tanzania, but the TPDC are also focusing on implementing projects that they have mentioned before, but the key ones, as Dr. Tarajio mentioned, is that since the last SADC meeting, their focus is on first improving and making sure that we have all the SADC and East Africa community members connected with the gas. This is why I mentioned before, hub for the gas, and this is very important. He's also talked about the key projects that are coming into Tanzania, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and connecting others, and the 11 PSA. I think I'm going to be, in order, I mean, our president has directed us. He wants to create billionaires in Tanzania. And in order to create billionaires, of course, you need to look at your resources, you need to look at how you're going to promote the people. And looking at the 11 PSAs, surely I need to start looking at becoming an investor. If anybody wants to join on hands, please let me know. Without wasting time, allow me to introduce and welcome Mr. Charles Sangweni, Acting DG for PORA. Karibu.
This is the price of being short. Sometimes I'm. Thank you very much. I would like first to express my appreciation to the organizers for giving me this chance to present whatever is supposed to be presented. When I saw the theme or the title of this panel discussion, I was a bit shocked because we are talking about latest updates in Tanzania, and we are about 3 of us from the government side. So you will excuse me, I apologize because I might talk the same issue that my boss spoke about and my colleague from TPDC spoke about. But all in all, I will try to talk, to identify some issues as a regulator. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the Petroleum Upstream Regulatory Authority and its roles, because it's a new entity in the system, although it has 3 years. But in general, our responsibilities are grouped in 3 categories. One is advisory responsibility. We are the authority which is responsible to advise the minister in all issues pertaining in upstream petroleum industry. The second one is on the regulatory itself. We have a regulatory law in the upstream. This is beside of that of midstream and downstream, which is taken by EURA. Now, in this part, actually it's not per se regulating, because we are going beyond that. We do monitoring of performance, financial and technical, in all activities that are taking place in upstream. Financially, we do audit of PSA to see if the PSA compliance is adhered to. But also technically, we always visit the areas where activities are taking on and advise when it is needed. But the last role we have, we are the one or the government or the regulator who has been given a responsibility of regulating the LNG project when it starts. So those are our roles. And since we started in 2016, we have already completed the audit of all PSAs for 2016 and 2017, and now we are working on 2018. Now, generally, as I said, I will not go through slide by slide because you will see the same cartoons and pictures that my boss has shown. So what I will do is talking much than going through slides. As you know, Tanzania is covered by 945,000 square kilometers. And out of those, almost 534,000 kilometers have been explored. But this includes the area in deep sea, which is about 134, and the other area in onshore, which is about 394 square kilometers, 1,000 square kilometers. And to date, we have managed to explore or to drill about 96 wells. Out of those, 44 are discoveries, and the rest are dry. And we have 2 areas which we are producing, which is Songo and Mnazi Bay. As we are talking today, the proved gas which can be taken out of the reservoirs is only 1.056 TCF, although the discovery is about 57.54. So we have a lot to do to make sure that we extract more gas to suffice for the demand. And that is one of the opportunities to IOCs and other investors. But also, having that 534,000, sorry, I said it's explored, but these are the sedimentary basins which we hope we can get some gas or some oil. But out of those, we have only explored about 160 and 200,000 kilometers, which is almost 30%. So we still have 70% of the sedimentary basins which are still need to be explored. So we welcome investors to invest on these areas. If you recall from the map that my commissioner showed, we have open acreage, open blocks. These blocks are about 20, 10 in deep sea and 10 in offshore. And out of those, we have about 4 blocks which are apportioned for TPDC as the National Oil Company, but the rest are still open. The only thing is that you may witness the price of oil globally went down since 2014. We used to have a price of about 100 USD per barrel, but as I am speaking now, it has started to shoot. Like today, it was about 53, 55 USD per barrel. So within this transition period, the government took initiative to make sure that we also improve on our legal and institutional framework so that we can catch the pass when the oil price goes up. And on doing that, we are reviewing some of the PSAs. We are reforming our institutional framework. That's why Pura came. And I hope in coming 2-3 years, we can be able to call for the next bidding round for